Preparing for this deep dive, it brought something up for me.
Wow.
Yeah, this feeling of being stuck. It's like I'm standing at the edge of a river in my life and I can see the other side. I know I need to cross, but I'm frozen. My feet won't move.
That image is so powerful. And I think the first thing to say is that feeling, that paralysis, it's not a flaw.
It feels like one.
I know. But it's a completely universal human experience. It's that moment where everything in you is screaming for change, but something else is holding you back.
Yeah. And it's not this loud, dramatic fear. It's quieter.
It's a whisper, isn't it? A sort of hum in the background. It's been there for years, just quietly asking, but what if you fail?
What if you lose yourself?
Exactly. What if you lose who you are? And that's where this Buddhist concept, sankhara, is so incredibly helpful.
Okay, I was hoping we'd get to that.
Well, a sankhara is a mental formation. Think of it like a habit. The mind creates these habits because it loves stability. It mistakes what's familiar for what's safe.
So my mind isn't trying to sabotage me by freezing me at the riverbank?
No, not at all. It's trying to protect the reality it has so carefully constructed. It's saying, whoa, hold on, we know this side of the river, let's just stay here.
It feels like my ego is working overtime. I get so frustrated with it, It's holding me back.
I hear that. But what if we, just for a moment, stop seeing the ego as a villain?
How else do you see it?
As a devoted guardian.
Yeah.
A well-meaning, but maybe slightly misguided one.
A guardian?
Think about it. Since you were a child, your ego has been building this fortress of identity.
Right.
Every bit of praise you got, every time you felt ashamed, every success, they all became bricks in that fortress.
Okay, I can see that.
And the ego's job is to protect that fortress. So when Change the River appears, the ego starts to tremble. Not out of malice, but out of loyalty. It whispers, stay here, stay where you are known. If this fortress changes, you might disappear.
Wow, okay, that completely reframes it for me. It's not an enemy, it's just scared.
It's scared. And that leads us right to this beautiful story, the parable of the raft.
The Alakadupama Sutta. Yeah, I wanted to really unpack this one.
So the Buddha tells this story of a man who's on the wrong side of a big, dangerous river. The other side is safety, peace.
And he needs to get across.
Right. So he gathers up some sticks, some vines, whatever he can find, and he builds himself a raft. It's not pretty, but it works.
He paddles across, gets to the other shore, safe and sound.
This is the key part. He gets there, he stands on dry land, and he looks back at his raft, and he thinks, this raft saved my life. It was so useful to me, I can't just leave it here.
Oh no.
Oh yes. So he picks it up, hoists it onto his head, and starts carrying it with him as he walks away from the river.
Which is just, it's absurd. You're on dry land, the raft is just a heavy, awkward burden now.
But isn't that what we do every single day?
I mean, yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Those rafts are our coping mechanisms, our beliefs, our identities. Maybe being a people pleaser was a raft that got you through a difficult childhood. It saved you.
Or being a workaholic was the raft that got you a promotion.
Exactly. But now you're on the other shore. You're in a new place in life, and you're still carrying that heavy waterlogged raft. And it's not saving you anymore.
It's an anchor. It's holding me back.
It becomes a prison. And the whole practice, the whole journey is about learning to gently say, thank you, raft. You served your purpose, and now I'm putting you down.
That's the part, though. Putting it down, my brain gets it, but my body. My body just screams, no!
Of course it does. The tightness in the chest, the shallow breath.
Yeah.
But that's because fear isn't an idea. It's a physiological event.
Yeah.
And you can't think your way out of a feeling. You have to feel your way through it.
So what do? Just toughen up?
No, the opposite. You meet it like you would a frightened child.
A frightened child?
You wouldn't yell at a scared toddler, would you? You'd get down on their level. You'd say, I see you. I see you're scared.
You'd validate the feeling.
You'd validate it. You can say to that feeling, thank you. You are here because you think I need protection. But I am learning to trust something deeper now. You're acknowledging it without becoming it.
There's a little bit of space then, between me and the fear.
And that space is everything. There's this image of fear being like mist over the river at dawn. From the shore, it looks like a solid gray wall. Impenetrable. But the second you actually push the boat out into it...
It's just vapor. It has no substance.
Right. But you can't know that from the bank. You have to be willing to move through it.
Okay, so I push off, I'm in the boat, I'm in the mist, and that's when it gets even harder, right? The mid-river crisis.
It's often the most turbulent part because you've left the old shore, so you can't go back. but you can't see the new one yet. You're in the unknown.
That's where the doubt really floods in. What if I drown? What if I made a huge mistake?
And this is where the Buddhist idea of dukkha becomes so practical. It's often translated as suffering.
Which sounds so final, so heavy.
It does. But a better translation in this context is friction.
Friction.
It's the friction between what is the cold water, the strong current, and what you wish was happening. The suffering isn't the river itself. It's your mind screaming, I wish I was on dry land.
This resistance.
It's the resistance. And there's a wonderful story about this, about the Buddha's attendant, Phalana.
He was his cousin, right? Served him for decades.
For 25 years. His entire identity, his whole raft, was Ananda, the Buddha's attendant. He was defined by his closeness to his teacher.
So then the Buddha passes away.
And the texts say Ananda didn't just grieve, he shattered. He completely fell apart because his whole world, his whole fortress had just vanished.
I can't even imagine.
But here's the lesson. He didn't run from that shattered feeling. He didn't try to busy himself or ignore it. He just sat with the raw, brutal friction of that loss.
He leaned into it.
He leaned all the way in. And doing that, he had a profound realization. He saw that the energy of his grief was the exact same energy as his love and devotion. It was the same current, just expressing itself differently. And by sitting with it, by allowing it, he transmuted it. And he attained enlightenment.
So he didn't get rid of the feeling, he used it.
He used it as fuel. Which brings us to a very practical tool, this idea of the gap.
The gap between stimulus and response.
Exactly. When that wave of panic hits you in the middle of a river, that's the stimulus. The automatic response is to panic.
Right, to flail.
But mindfulness is about widening that gap. Just a little. Just enough to make a different choice.
There's a micro practice for this, isn't there? The pause.
It's so simple, but so powerful. Step 1 is just a pause. Just stop.
Breathe.
Step 2, name what's happening. Softly. Fear is here.
You're not saying I am afraid, you're saying fear is here.
It's a huge difference. And then step 3, you ask a gentle question. What is this fear trying to protect me from?
I actually tried this. I was feeling really anxious about a work thing, and I asked the question and the answer. It wasn't about the deadline.
What was it about?
It was trying to protect me from the feeling of being seen as imperfect or incompetent.
And do you see how that changes the whole game?
Completely. Because once I saw that, I could talk to that part of me. I could say, it's okay, your worth isn't tied to this. It softened everything.
You became the awareness holding the fear, rather than the fear itself.
Speaking of fear, we have to talk about the most intense thing I read for this. The practice of chud.
Ah, yes. The cutting through, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
It sounds terrifying. You're supposed to visualize your demons, your fears, your trauma.
In front of you, yes. Gnashing their teeth.
And my every instinct is to run or fight. But the practice says to feed them, your own body.
It's radical surrender. Instead of resisting the demon, you invite it in. You say, I see your hunger. Here, take what you need from me. I will nurture you.
Why? What does that do?
It short circuits the whole dynamic of resistance. And in the visualization, a strange thing happens. When you stop fighting the demons, they don't devour you.
They bow.
They bow. They transform. Because you finally see them for what they are. Protectors. Parts of your own compassion wearing masks of terror. They were roaring simply because they wanted to be seen and acknowledged. When you feed them with your attention, they don't need to roar anymore.
So that tight feeling in my throat when I have to have a difficult conversation, that's a demon.
You could see it that way.
And if I stop fighting it, if I just let it be there and even welcome it, it loses its power over me.
It becomes an ally. It becomes information. It tells you this matters. That discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's often a signal that you're doing something right. You're growing.
So the discomfort means I'm moving. I'm in the river.
You're in the river. See, the ego creates stories of stay small, stay safe. But the heart, the deeper self, it speaks in possibility.
That's a huge distinction.
The heart doesn't fear change. It fears stagnation. So that friction you feel is often the sign that your heart is winning the argument.
It reminds me of the lotus flower. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's true. A lotus can't grow on a clean marble surface. It has to be rooted in the mud.
It needs the muck. The messiness is non-negotiable. It's the food. In the same way, your fears, your confusion, your old rafts, they aren't stains on your path. They're the soil for your awakening.
So I don't need to get rid of all my baggage to get in the boat.
You need your baggage in order to awaken. It's what makes you human. The goal isn't to be fearless.
What is it then?
It's to be faithful.
Faithful to what?
Faithful to the current.
Yeah.
Faithful to the truth that lies just beneath the surface of the fear. Faithful to the person you know you could become on the other shore.
Trusting that the other shore is there, even in the middle of the mist.
Exactly.
This has been, wow, it feels like we've crossed a bit of the river just talking about it. But there was
Exactly.
one last thing, a final question that was posed.
A question to sit with.
We spend all this time worrying about what we're going to lose if we change. We cling to the raft, and the question is, what if the thing you're most afraid to lose is exactly what's keeping you from being found?
It stops you in your tracks, doesn't it?
It really does. What if the thing I'm most afraid to lose is what's keeping me from being found? It's saying that the identity I'm trying so hard to protect is the very thing in my way.
The other shore isn't a place you arrive at to be rescued. It's a state of being where you remember who you were before you started building all the rafts.
Well, I'm definitely going to be chewing on that one all week. For everyone listening, maybe just take a gentle look at your own rafts.
Thank them for their service.
Yeah, thank them. And maybe see if it's time to set one down. Thank you so much for this. This was incredibly helpful.
My pleasure. Just remember to breathe when you're in the current. The boat knows the way.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.